So those exhibition games are now underway. We did not cover against the spread. Yeah. We won 98-92. A couple things going on with Team USA right now. Kawhi got sent home. KD is now hurt. And Kerr is talking about potentially benching Embiid. So with us playing Serbia here soon, is there any doubt in your mind that we'll take the cake?
No. So I think this is from a talent and still in their prime, or guys who have aged out of their prime but are still great perspective. This is the best collection of talent in Team USA history. I understand that people say that's sacrilege because of the 92 Dream Team, but 92, Bird was a shell of himself. Magic had just retired due to HIV, and you didn't even have Isaiah Thomas on the team. So it just wasn't the collection of talent wasn't up to the level that this team is. And now the rest of the world has gotten so much better. You're not going to beat, it's no beating Angola by 60 points. I understand that. But this team, I think, is unbeatable. And if people say, oh, well, that hasn't been the case. Man, we lost since the Dream Team. There has been 1 year we did not win the gold. Since then, we have won, I think, 28 consecutive games that mattered. Or I'm sorry, we 28-1 in games that matter, because we did lose early round game in the non-knockout stage last year. And we win all these games by double digits. What happened in the Australia game is they were up 24 in an exhibition game in the second half and stopped paying attention. So this is the Serbia tomorrow is kind of a bummer, because Serbia plays tonight against Australia. So there's a chance that Jokic doesn't play in the Serbia game. But if you look at against the US, but if you look at these rosters, yes, Canada has Shea, and Greece has Giannis, and Serbia has Jokic. But none of these teams have a second player that would make the Team USA roster. And we have answers for everything the other team's going to try to do. So I am not concerned in the least. Say it again, Demaze.
Do you speaking of the rosters, do you think the Team USA roster is up to par? Is it how you would have it?
Well, I mean, are these the 12 guys I would have picked? Obviously, it was a story recently that Jaylen Brown didn't get on the initial team and then didn't get picked when the replacement. I would have had Jaylen on the team over Kawhi from the very beginning. I think at this point, Jaylen's obviously more reliable, and you could argue just flatly a better player. I do understand them going Derek White. Now, Jaylen thinks it's purely Nike, and he might be correct. There is an argument to be made that the roster construction should be 8 stars and 4 Derek White types. Guys who are going to be fine if they don't play.
I apologize.
Go ahead.
I guess Kawhi Leonard.
No, go.
With it being Kawhi that was replaced, he wasn't a glue guy. It wasn't like he was like one of those role player type of guys.
It would 100% agree. And they, by the way they put this roster together, it's very clear they're not valuing glue guys. Like on the initial roster, the closest thing to a glue guy, if you would, and this is insulting to him, is Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday's more than a glue guy, but a guy who doesn't need shots and can just defend. So if I were the one putting the roster together, the guys who probably would have been the guys who were on the initial roster that I would have said, I'm not sure if we need them, are Devin Booker, Kawhi, and that really might be it. And I might have replaced them with just more specialists, if you will. And again, Devin Booker, that is not a knock on Devin Booker, but when you have Durant, and now you can argue Booker's better than Durant at this point. You really can't argue that, and Booker played really well against Australia. But I do think there is if Booker's better than Durant, it's close enough that the legacy part of it, and you wanted to have the old guys together, I'm fine with that. And if you, the point I'm making is your concern is, are there going to be guys on the team who are upset if they're not getting shots and not getting minutes because they're stars? And would those roles be better filled with guys who are just thrilled to be there and can do one thing really well? With all that said, it absolutely will not matter. And Team USA is going to roll everyone. There is not a Argentina or a Spain or a France team from 10, 20 years ago where those teams had been playing together and been crushing together for a long time on this team, in this field. So I'm actually good with it. One more Team USA follow-up, DeMonte.
No.
About the starting five.
Yeah, if you were given the reins, who would be your starting five for Team USA?
So the reason I wanted to make sure you asked that was because on TV, I gave out the starting five, and then Steve Kerr said, you know what, Nick Wright, you're exactly right. My starting five would have been the exact starting five that Steve Kerr ultimately picked. Ant and Steph in your backcourt, LeBron and Tatum in your front court, with Embiid playing center. Now, there is a chance that you mentioned Kerr's talking about benching Embiid. There's a chance that Anthony Davis could be the better option as far as switchability, playing, you know what I mean, playing perimeter defensively. Embiid actually is the better option as far as spread, playing a 5-out style because he is a far better perimeter shooter than AD. But the starting five that Kerr went with is the exact starting five.
Perimeter shooter? Than Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis hasn't been a good perimeter shooter since the bubble, and he doesn't really shoot threes anymore. Embiid, on the other hand, is probably the best jump shooting big man, certainly of the last 30 years, and maybe ever. He might just be flatly the best jump shooting big man ever. But that's the other reason. Like, you have Embiid, AD, and Bam as center options. It's just a well-built team. And so the only question or concern that you're going to have is when the games really matter, is Halliburton or Booker or Bam going to be upset if they're not getting minutes. Derek White's not going to be upset. He's not getting minutes. He's happy to be there. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.